Wheelchair Championship hosted by Curl Moose Jaw. We are on day 3 of the championship in the notorious city of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. I'm Danielle Szynski and will be your commentator for this event, and joining me this afternoon is former Curling Canada National Wheelchair Head Coach Wayne Kyle.
Well, it's just a delight and a pleasure to be here with you, and it's what a beautiful facility that you have in Moose Jaw, and these athletes are privileged to play here, and my journeys across the country and across the world, this is one of the beautiful facilities that they have. So congratulations, Moose Jaw, and we're looking forward to some great curling.
In last evening's live stream action, we had a back and forth game between Alberta 1 against Quebec, with Alberta 1 running Quebec out of rocks in the 8th end. In our feature draw this afternoon, we have New Brunswick, who is still looking for their first win, sitting at 0-3, playing against a 1-1 Manitoba, who had a tough battle in last evening's game against Saskatchewan too. Let us introduce you to the teams.
And let's start off with the New Brunswick team, and I believe they are throwing the Red Rocks. And unfortunately, they haven't hit the win column yet, but starting with the team out of Thistle St. Andrew's Curling Club in St. John, New Brunswick. Lead is Elaine Mazel. Second is James O'Hara. Vice skip Sarah Benavides. And skip Mike Fitzgerald. And I believe that that same team was here in 2023, and they're coached by Wayne Cooper. And then we go over to the team throwing Yellow Rocks, who have adjusted their lineup compared to what you might have noticed in the books. And we have Dennis Thiessen, who is throwing lead rocks but will be skipping the team, and Jill Hopkins, who is a entry, and they picked Jill up, came into the program from Ontario. She will be throwing second rocks. Mark Werrett has been around that program for Curl or Manitoba a long time. He's throwing third. And Jamie Ansu, who is also was part of the national program for a good number of years, and he will be throwing skip rocks. And that team has been at this event for many years. They won it in 11, they won it in 14, won it in 17, and they're entering this weekend with 1 win and 1 loss. Here we go.
And pretty open end to start the game here, with the first stroke going into the rings and then Manitoba making the hit.
That's the easy shot, right? Yes, that New Brunswick team has been at this event for a good number of years, since I entered the program.
And as you'll notice too, every wheelchair athlete has a different way to throw their rocks. You'll notice that we actually had a volunteer holding the wheelchair for James that was about to throw, and some of them also have stabilizers in front and some don't. So
there's a variety of different methods, and I guess each athlete, depending upon their abilities or disabilities, that allows them to throw.
Okay.
And most of the ones that I've ever been involved with have had anchors, one form or another, and whether it's another athlete that's on the ice with them or somebody else utilizing that process. And Dennis.
Good throw.
The skip that's calling the game for that Manitoba team is also a member of the Canadian Curling Hall of Fame. So congratulations, Dennis. He's been around that program a long time.
he has been.
And of course, Dennis represented Canada at the mixed doubles in 2022 at the Paralympics in China. They came in with the bronze, and last year they were in, I believe it was BC, and came out with the bronze there. This year they had a bit of a struggle at the 2024 World Championship in Korea. And also you'll notice there's a variety of different forms of delivery, and I believe that one would have come from is that the last lead rocks for New Brunswick would have been Elaine that throws her hammer position, broom position is quite different than the rest. It's right down the middle of the body.
In other games action, on sheet A, we have a strong 3-0 British Columbia playing against another strong undefeated team, Newfoundland Labrador. So that'll be a pretty exciting game to be making sure we're giving you guys updates. Sheet B, we have a 1-2 Ontario 2 against a very consistent 2-1 Quebec looking to rebound from last night's game. Sheet C, we have Saskatchewan 1, who is hoping to continue their winning streak, sitting at 2-0, playing against Ontario 1, that is looking for their first win, sitting at 0-2. Sheet D, Saskatchewan 2 is looking to continue their winning ways, sitting at a 1-2, playing against a strong 2-1 Alberta 1. And the bye this draw is Alberta 2, who is sitting at 0-3.
And on our sheet, Danielle, Jill Hopkins just delivered her rock, and Jill is also in the Next Gen program of the new Curling National focus that they're doing, and she ends up at the back of the 8-foot. New Brunswick's going for I presume a takeout here. It's a very interesting delivery that the New Brunswick.
Over the head there with that.
Yeah. That's a long broom, that thing sticking out there.
It is.
Oh, I think she would have liked to have a little more weight in that one, but.
Top 12 or short. That was a 13-9. That was a 13-9.
So I'm presuming that their 13-9 would be hog to hog.
14-5.
Is what they would be calling for. So he's now asking for 14-5.
So in yesterday's game in the evening there, we had about 13-5 was the T line. So a little bit quicker today here.
It's interesting to watch the variety of different processes that the teams have felt to give themselves feedback as to what it is, but the majority of them still use the hog to hog as their rock speed, and they go from there. I think just calling to, let's see if we can bail ourselves out a little bit of trouble here and get a rock in maybe the 4-foot here would help.
Yeah, it definitely helps that it's just a little bit behind the T line or right on the T line here. So if New Brunswick can get one in there, that definitely would help them out a lot. And results from last evening's game. Last night we had Saskatchewan come out firing after their bye and defeated Ontario 2 12-3. British Columbia continued their winning ways, defeating New Brunswick 13-1. Saskatchewan 2 rebounded from their afternoon game with a 14-1 win over Manitoba. And it was a strong game for both teams, with Newfoundland and Labrador making their final draw in the 8th end, defeating Alberta 8-6. And as we mentioned earlier, in our feature draw we had Alberta 1 defeated Quebec 9-6.
And on our sheet, Danielle, unfortunately, Sarah just slipped right through the house, so it allows Manitoba making another attempt to put a guard up front there. And throwing third rocks again, but that was a change from the lineup is Mark. Mark has been in this program for a long time. I understand he did start curling in Ontario and made the big move to Manitoba.
This is looking pretty nice coming in for line-wise. Weight looks pretty close. That's a great spot. Great throw, great spot there for Manitoba.
New Brunswick has its work cut out.
They do, right?
Yep. About 3/4.
Calling for that.
Try it.
What about 7/8 of that rock exposed?
Yes.
Attempting for the takeout.
Yeah.
On its way, but I'm thinking it may get by the guard.
It's gonna be tight. Nice rotation. No, she's good.
Got it. Good for her. Nice shot.
Great shot.
Yeah.
That's a great shot.
Now we'll see what Manitoba comes back with. Dennis is looking at probably want to run that one back. That red should go right through there. He's asking for a 10. I'm not sure in your experience watching these games, has there been much of a difference as in-turn versus out-turn, and they're running straighter, Danielle, or?
They definitely are curling off the center line there, so you have to be careful. And we have noticed on the out turns, especially coming home, if you ever set them out at just a little bit, it's pretty hard for them to come back. Yeah, make sure you throw your rocks nice and straight here, and which he did, and yeah, so it's gonna be a while to come back here. So.
I don't think it's going to. It's just going to wave at it on the way by.
So opportunity here for New Brunswick to make a nice draw here, to maybe get out of the end and maybe even steal.
Yeah, they're Manitoba's laying one on, and Brunswick's got the second shot in there, so if they can get one in there, it'd be a really tough spot for Manitoba to get up. Looks like they're throwing the
First shot, please.
out-turn draw. And that shot that Mark just threw, Danielle, that is exactly what you said was going to happen. You get outside, coming outside in. That one did not move much, so we'll see. You'll have a chance to watch this one and see what it does.
Ready?
Nice throw out of the hand there.
Yeah.
Nice rotation.
Sure sits there. It's not moving much at all.
Just starting to move now.
Starting to come a little
Nice
bit.
finish. It's gonna need to put the brakes on though.
Uh-oh.
And just through back there, back 12 hitting there. So opportunity again for Manitoba here to play that hit and roll now.
And skip rocks thrown by Jamie Ansu for Manitoba. Jamie, but my last experience with Jamie was when we were at he started with mixed doubles. That was an interesting story because Gil Dash from Saskatchewan was in that program as well, and Gil ended up with being in the hospital with appendicitis, and Jamie joined us. Had a great time over in Finland with that program. So he's now throwing skip rocks here, so it's not something he's not done a whole lot of, but he's
This looks really nice coming in. It's fading back though.
almost drops right off there as he gets the ground. Nope.
Oh. Well, the good news for Manitoba is that rock is buried there, so New Brunswick.
I'm not sure what he's calling. That is a tough shot to get out.
Yeah, he's calling for the draw again here, so that's. So as a thrower, it's always nice when you can throw the second shot. If you didn't make it the first time round, and you have an opportunity to do the same thing in the second time round.
So it's interesting, Danielle. You watch able-bodied athletes. A lot of it. Well, you answer this for me. What is it? Just basically muscle memory that they use for developing their weight? If you're looking for somebody to throw 3 feet less or
Yes.
4 feet more, it's all muscle memory and the leg drive and the extension, a little bit in the extension.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So wheelchair athletes don't have that.
That
It's a challenge to get.
that feel.
That's
Yeah.
You can hear.
I think he's definitely is lighter. It's looking
Is it
nice
right in?
coming
Yeah.
in.
Sure, it's got enough though.
It's going to be really close. That's a really good attempt. But
That's a great try.
you know what? That's a great shot for New Brunswick. It shrunk the scoring area there, considering how the end started. New Brunswick shrunk the scoring area there for Manitoba. And we're on a new path. So a bit of a challenge here.
That was a 14.75, so 14.5.
Yeah, realizing that it is a fresh path. So
That side, yeah.
we get to see lots of our wheelchair curlers practice and do their training, and they do a lot of hog-to-hog splits and getting that feeling of the ice, and they talk 14, 5, and 10, and that's a lot of repetition and practice for them. So you got to dial in your, like you said, the muscle memory and how it feels. So
And it's very interesting for wheelchair athletes to develop that, because them, in most cases, it's basically development of arm movements.
1440, so
It doesn't have quite the legs on that side.
but a great end for by both teams here, and Manitoba won, gets their 1 point going on into the second end.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, we got it.
Come on up. Well, what do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
And welcome back. Manitoba was able to get their 1 point. Narrowly missed an opportunity to get their 2 points there with the draw attempt. Having to go to a new side, a fresh side there, but nonetheless, we're able to get their 1 point. And I think if you're New Brunswick there, I think a bit of a sigh of relief based on how the end started to just give Manitoba their 1.
Yeah, for a while there, it looked pretty glim for New Brunswick because they did have a lot of yellow rocks in the house in play, but it just kind of worked out for them, and good for them. They'd came back and held Manitoba to 1 point. And I see their first rock, Dennis Thiessen, is going to stop at the back of the 12 with his first draw shot, so the game is on.
Give you a quick update here too. Quebec was able to score their 2 points against Ontario number 2.
And New Brunswick is calling for, again, a draw to the top of the house, I believe. I'm not sure what the
Yeah.
hold up is there. Oh, they're sharing sticks.
Oh,
That's that's what it looks like to me.
looks like he's going to make the takeout here. It's starting to curl though, as we found a couple games there. As soon as it comes off that center and just, yeah, not quite enough. So they really come hard off that center there.
So going out to the wings they go, but coming in from the wings they sit pretty straight.
Yeah.
13. They're getting 14, 14-5.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a pretty nice
Yeah.
surface.
And we did find later on in the games that they were starting to slow down, and it was closer to that 13-5 there.
It's interesting. Of course, in wheelchair curling, there's not. The other thing that we noticed, Danielle, is because the athletes are all in front of the house, that each house only gets half of the rocks through it, right? It's the other side. So that also has an impact on what happens and on what rock speed is maintained during the course of the game.
Right.
But then it's made a back of the forefoot. He's hurting a little bit, I guess, understanding from their coach that his shoulder is sore, and
Yeah,
that's
very
why he went.
stretching his arm there even, so it's that constant repetition. I mean, that does get pretty exhausting, and I'm sure they had a few games there at the World, so
Well,
and traveling can't be the easiest either at times.
no. It's always a challenge when you're dealing with airplanes and athletes, and the amount of time you're there, and you know what it's like sitting in airplanes for a long time, and it's even harder on wheelchair athletes than it is on us.
Another update here as well too. Saskatchewan won and was able to steal 4 in the first end against Ontario number 1. That's a great shot.
That's a nice shot again.
Yeah. The good thing for about New Brunswick there is those 2 yellows, even though they're in the house there, they're kind of grouped together behind the tee line there. So if the opportunity arises, you can use them as backing or freeze attempts.
And Jill is throwing for the Manitoba, the Ontario transplant. And Jill's addition to the program is she's in the next gen program, as we mentioned before. So
lots of rotation coming in on this one. Looks really nice coming in here.
So get a bit of a roll over to the edge of the. Uh-oh.
And rolling right out there.
Rolling right out.
There, yeah. Another update too, and we'll make sure to keep you updated on this because I think it is going to be a tight game right through the end. Is Newfoundland and Labrador was able to get there 2 in the first end, and are up 2-0 to British Columbia.
Yeah, New Brunswick's attempting to draw another one down in. And as you said, they do have the 2 yellows at the back, 2 Manitoba rocks at the back, can always be used as their own advantage and supporters. Again, here's the throw down the middle of the body.
With that, I wonder if it'd be hard to get lots of rotation on that. Or with the sticks and the handles. Explain to me, Wayne, that yeah, when it comes to
well, that GTX head was designed so that once you had it on, if it's applied on the handle of the curling stone in the various degrees, it should apply the turn, the rotation on itself. So if you look at where they're setting their rock, whether it's at 45, 55, or 65 degrees, the handle and the head of the delivery sticks on that, and you'll see here with Jill, she's almost at 90.
yes.
And then you just extend forward, the turn is supposed to automatically come up. And of course, if you don't get that rock in the right position on in the degree of angle, then in some cases it will not apply the turn enough and they will pull off or not get there. But you'll see with this one, she has lots of rotation on the curling stone. I know the national program, one of their big efforts is to keep the rotation up, keep lots of rotation up, because without any sweeping or anything on that on a sheet of curling ice, it will have a tendency to grab and bite more, and then as a result they lose the rotation. Well, Manitoba's got quite a little beehive set up the back there.
They do.
Let's see what
That could be good or bad for New Brunswick here.
right.
For New Brunswick, at least it's behind the tee line. So, you know, it just takes one shot to get in there. But if Manitoba ever has an opportunity to put something top 8, top 4 there, it makes it a little more challenging for New Brunswick.
Yeah, you'll notice this rock coming down, Danielle, compared to rotation of would have been Jill's, is quite different.
That's a great
Nice
shot. Great shot, yes.
They just don't want to take any rocks out of play. They want to leave them on there.
Can you give me a solid 10?
And Mark's getting ready to fall down. I don't think he can. I can't see the brooms. I presume that's what the call was.
Yep, there we go, yeah.
He's got to hit it. He's trying to hit it.
Yeah.
Probably clean both reds out.
I was going to say, yeah, if he hits it right there.
Oh, both reds will be gone. And poor, shouldn't say poor, but then New Brunswick's looking at a pile again.
They are. And you'll notice there, Jill's got her stopwatch ready to go. So it's kind of it is a team effort on all these shots here. And someone's going to be timing the hog to hog and someone being the anchor, as you called it. So this looks pretty good.
A little more weight would have gone, but that yellow one would have gone too.
Yeah.
Well, they're laying what? 1, 2 yellow?
2 for sure there, yeah. Still an opportunity for New Brunswick here if they can make a nice freeze or draw down.
Yeah, there's lots of rocks down there. Just a little bit of a bump back. It's interesting, Danielle, as we wait for the rock to come down the ice. The equipment in curling and wheelchair curling, the only thing that's really changed is the length of the delivery stick, and of course the head on the delivery stick, the one that we're seeing here. And there's, I think all athletes have that extender head, or the GTX head. The first one that came out was the extender head, which is just a little part of the half of a handle almost that fit over the curling stone, and you had to apply the rotation yourself. This one, basically it's supposed to do it on its own if it's set up right.
This looks pretty nice coming in.
And it's shot rock.
Yeah.
Manitoba has got to deal with it one way or the other.
And so, and as well too, even the length of the stick, because you had said there's the length of the stick has to be between a range. Like, how did they figure that out, or what was? I mean, obviously, what it done.
It's interesting that you asked that, Danielle, because excuse me, when we were back in Calgary, this is a good number of years back, we did some degree testing of the angle of the curling stick in relation to the curling stone. So the shorter the stick, obviously, the higher the angle. And then as a result of that, you were losing a lot of momentum to get into the rock rather than straight down onto the ice. So the longer the stick was, the easier it is to apply speed to the curling stone. So as a result of that, that's how they end up going as long as they are. So of course, some athletes like them longer and some don't like them as long, but you'll see the majority of them now are getting close to 6 feet. 72 inches, I think that's the maximum that they can have.
And what about the weight of them? Are they all?
Most of them are carbon fiber.
Okay.
Very, very light. Very, very expensive.
Oh,
but
okay.
they're very light.
That's a great shot there.
But that's and most of the carbon fiber sticks in Canada that you see out here today. Mark Idison, who's the skip of the national team, he's the one that has been the supplier for the majority of them that we see out here today. But they are very, very expensive stick. I think I'm thinking $200, $300, $400. Because the carbon went up after, of course, everything went up after 2019. But
right.
The price of carbon sticks went up extensively, and then of course they have to be adjusted so you can take them apart to travel with them. And but that's the majority of them are now with carbon fiber. Very, very light.
And as you can see too, I'm not sure if you can notice that there is a bit of a notches on the stick. So I know when Marie comes in, and Gil as well too, it's almost like coming in with their own pool stick in a sense that they come apart.
They do.
And they're about, would you say, so when it's all apart, would you say about 3 feet?
About that.
About 3 feet?
So yeah, so most of them, a minimum of, so you take them apart and put them in a carrying case to travel with them.
Yeah.
We had some interesting scenarios with the traveling arrangements. With some airports or airlines would let you carry them on, and some wouldn't. So.
Oh, that'd be like, you wouldn't. Oh my! What if it got lost?
Well, that's what we were. That's
have
what
you
we
ever
kept
had
saying.
any issues then?
No.
Okay.
9.5, yeah.
No, we haven't. We didn't have any. We had issues with suitcases being lost, but majority of the time we've never had that with our delivery sticks. Down to Skip Rocks for Manitoba, and I believe he's.
So he'll want to make sure he gets this here, because it could go back advantage back to New Brunswick here with all the little kickers back there.
Now you'll notice Jamie has one eye closed and one eye open. And I do believe.
I think Manitoba's still lying 2 there.
That appears to me.
It's a tough double. Oh, he's going to play a draw. Would you try to hit and roll to maybe try and...
I would think it's there.
Right?
It's
yeah.
not even that difficult. Like if you get in there, anything on that yellow.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
even
the both yellow are going to go. If he hits a one, it's because he can't lose his red. It's going to go back on the other
even
yellow.
if he hits right here
Yeah.
and kind of stays here, or if he hits and even if he just rolls a little bit too,
So you can get 2, so you can be laying 2.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to throw that much of weight to just kind of just push it back a little bit. So
I forgot to come down the last time.
Ready?
He just tells me to put it, and I just listen.
And it's on its way. I'm not.
oh, it's looking like it's gonna go in between. To be honest with you, because it's really coming hard. Oh no, he's gonna.
Get a piece of it. Yeah, he's got one. Gonna roll over and get the other. Oh.
Oh, but I.
Oh.
I'm not sure who.
Put it up. Top.
Well, I would say the back yellow,
Yellow.
just on the bottom of the 16 looks like
I think so too.
it's shot.
I think so too.
And the other red on the other side by the O looks like it could be second.
But if Manitoba just even gets one in the pocket, it's going to be hard for
to get more.
to get more than
4-0?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can throw. He's pretty safe down that path.
Right.
He's got a lot of backing. So we'll call him the one-eyed Jamie skip thrower.
Uh-oh, he just got that out.
Sorry, Dennis.
Oh,
Uh-oh, he did it ever.
he'll want that one back.
Ooh.
Well, I think there's an opportunity. Yeah, that's.
New Brunswick's got to be. I'm not sure.
Is there not? There's an opportunity at least for 2 here. I'm not sure if there's for 3 though.
It's going to be tough.
If he bounced that
Or at least
yellow
it might
back,
be a measurable.
Yeah, that's right.
It might be measurable, so at
Don't
least.
bounce that yellow back, we could have been.
Yeah,
Well, if they get the nose on the yellow, they got 2 for sure.
I think so too.
And then they'd have to measure for
For the third one
the
there,
third
maybe.
one. I'm not sure what happened to that shot with Jamie. That's really odd that he would have got that unless he slipped or something. That's really odd that he would have been out there.
Ready?
Well, I never had a chance to, and I'll have to maybe ask the coach for Newfoundland when we were watching. The first draw there, Doug Dean, I know, was having issues with the stick in it. The rock kept sticking in his stick there, so. Oh, I think he's on his own even.
Okay, let me have a look at your stick. I just want to back it out.
Oh, it's,
Look there. Well, that was my hope.
they're gonna get
The first one I
one
found
here.
the little
One for
space
sure. I'd
where it could
say
get- you guys
that's
were laying 2 after I threw my shot.
I'm not sure what's.
here, get another look at it. I think the yellow behind the 16 is second. That's my call.
Yes, I think they're.
I think that's
Yeah, they're motioning one.
Yeah.
So one for. So one for New Brunswick here.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
The Men of Curling calendar is more than a date provider. Each edition is packed with beautiful images and tons of curling information too. Support curlers and charity by buying yours today at curlingcares.com.
So New Brunswick was able to get their 1 point. Bit of a missed opportunity to get 2, maybe 3 on a measurement there. I'm not too sure, but nonetheless, I'm sure Manitoba's breathing a sigh of relief that it was just 1.
So Danielle, while we're waiting for the first rock, just a bit of the background. Actually, the wheelchair curling program started in Europe in late 1990 and ended up in North America in 2002. And the first wheelchair championship was held in Surrey, Switzerland in 2002, and Switzerland beat Canada 7-6. Started as a Paralympic sport in 2006 in Turin, Italy, and since it became an Olympic sport, Canada's won 5 consecutive medals. Gold in 6, gold in 10, gold in 2014, bronze in 2018, and bronze in 2022. So there's your history lesson for today. And with the first rock on, there it is on the side.
Yeah, again, she just, James just got it out there, and it just was not going to come back for him, so.
Edge of 4?
Yep.
So they're asking for in the house. They're not fooling around with any guards on this sheet.
No.
Sask's up. Sask one picked up another one, I see.
They did, so they're up 5-0.
Also, Danielle, as you look down the sheet of ice, people may be wondering why there's 2 lines on the outside of the past the center line, and on wheelchair curling, you're allowed 18 inches on either side of the center line to place your rock before you go and shoot. So that's what that's all about.
So you can have your wheelchair outside of those lines. It's just more about the rock.
That's correct.
And similar to able-bodied curling, you have to make sure you let go of the rock before the hog line as well too. So that's why they're positioned back as the way they are as well too then, correct?
Correct. And we have had some rocks be pulled because they're over the hog line.
Oh, wow.
Not often, but it does occur if you
Back?
get your great big long stick out there, not careful where you line up.
Right.
One of the things that we used to do is you go to the hog line, lay your stick down, and back up X number of whatever we decided we could do, and then there's a little dot in the ice.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you make sure you're always behind that dot.
There you go.
Because they're not moving anywhere from out of the chair.
Well, that was a great throw by James, but unfortunately he didn't quite adjust the weight though too, but nonetheless it was much better throw there compared to the first one there, right on the line.
4 inches into the 8.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yep.
It's opportunity for Manitoba to get one around that guard.
It's interesting. Dennis is throwing a turn. It's his in turn, being left-handed.
Easy, buddy. 3-8.
3-8, so a little warm. It's
It'll
gonna
stick around.
stop.
Yeah, stick around on the original.
Yeah.
Go on front.
Go back in.
Yeah.
It appears New Brunswick sure enjoys the draw game a little more than
Yeah.
the take-up game.
Well, I don't think Manitoba specified top 4. You know, I think he just said 4 foot.
Yeah.
So.
You know,
But
in wheelchair curling, now you got to have a much more
Yeah.
tolerance,
Yeah.
zone tolerance to do anything about it because you don't have the ability to sweep it.
That's what I always say sometimes to Penny. And if I go back house, I said, well, you didn't tell me if it was top or back, so. I'm in the range, aren't I?
The worst possible spot.
So a bit of a missed opportunity here for New Brunswick.
A little bit one way or the other, it would have had.
So for Manitoba, you want to make sure you keep this above T line. If you slide in here, I don't think that's the end of the world. I think that's a really good shot here, but I think the most important thing is just keeping it above T line. So British Columbia there was able to respond back and get a score of 2 in the second end, so the game is tied.
And over in our shot, they're asking Jill to, as you mentioned, top 12 or top even up front would be acceptable. But with Hammer, I'm sure they want to try and set up for at least 2.
Line-wise looking really nice.
It's got the legs. It's looking coming right in there.
Really nice spot.
Nice shot, Jill.
Great shot.
Takes that side away, almost have to go. Oh, they're going
Run
to
it
try to hit
back.
that. Run it back.
10 seconds.
You got this, Oline.
Make sure you're lined up.
A little bit of encouragement from the skipper. This is that spot, Danielle, where the first end we were watching. It was, you dare get outside here, we could just not come back for you.
That's correct.
And I think that one is going to
It's moving nice.
move a nice. Gonna
Nice
roll
one,
in
Lily.
and cover.
Yeah,
You'll be pretty happy with that outcome.
I think so.
Let's see what Jill comes back with here.
So Saskatchewan 2 was able to steal one in the second end there and are up 1-0 on Alberta 1.
I haven't seen too
Real
many outturns on this sheet yet. A lot of interns. No, this is outturns.
This
Sorry.
is outturns, yeah.
This is
Not a lot of interns,
not
no.
a lot of interns.
So that'll be, interesting to note that if we get in that position just like we did the first end there, adjusting of the weight. So
Quite there. Probably just
Draw
gonna come
down
right
on
down
top.
of the Manitoba Stone, the back of the 12, or the back of the 4.
So when was the first year that we had the wheelchair curling here in Saskatchewan?
I think it was back in 09. I remember because it was Wendy Morgan at that time who was in charge of the program, traveled across Canada and the various curling rinks to try to expose it to athletes.
Oh, this is looking really nice.
Close, close, close.
Oh,
Just a little
Well,
bit of a rub.
She rubbed, but that's not bad.
great
No.
shot.
No.
So
Nice.
that's that was the beginning, and then from then on it just grew and expanded. I believe that that's the first time Marie was ever exposed to wheelchair curling, and I was at that camp with her, and she couldn't even get the rock in the first hog line. That was just
Wow.
that was it. Not the first hog line, second hog line. That was a challenge for the development process, and of course it went on and on from there. And we know what her results were, and her rewards in the game of sport, in the game of curling. But yeah, it was 09, I believe. We got uh-oh.
It's an opportunity here for New Brunswick to put some pressure on.
Yeah, that didn't work out quite right, I think, the way Mark would have hoped, but
Guard.
calling for a guard in front of that red rock at the back of the butt. So this is Sarah's last rock. So the outturn draw, guard. Trying to close the path up so Manitoba cannot get down there to get in. Second shot.
Pretty good result there.
Yeah, the mantle, or they're laying 2. As a matter of fact, that other red is.
Yep. Do the run back.
So as you mentioned, Mark is originally from Ontario, and it's actually Northern Ontario, and at the Wheelchair Nationals from 2008 to 2011 out of Dryden. And then 2009 he moved to Winnipeg.
I think Mark was on the, because Manitoba has won the, they won the championship in, what did I you say earlier?
So he was part of the 2014 and 2017.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And he curled and dried with his dad until he was 20 when an accident changed his life. And then besides curling, he's played many wheelchair sports and represented Manitoba in wheelchair basketball.
That was a shot.
Racquetball and tennis.
He's been an athlete all his life.
Yeah.
Still enjoys those kinds of opportunities. And anyway, we're sitting here with New Brunswick still laying 2. And
First shot, please.
I think he's coming down in for a third shot. Manitoba's going to have some work to do to get some points out of this end. Mark made a nice run back.
That was a wonderful run back to open up the scoring area there, right? So
now we're going to see if New Brunswick can come back in and put another one back in there. That's a lot of ice, Danielle. I think
I agree.
that it's out there. I'm not thinking that it's going to be buried, but
yeah,
not sure you got right out the full stick.
It's moving already too, isn't it? Like, looks like a little light maybe.
Oh dear.
Oh
Yeah, very
dear,
light.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not
and
gonna-
losing its rotation too.
No,
So yeah,
exactly.
16-4. So
Manitoba.
it's opportunity for Manitoba to get one behind the guards
Just
there.
a 9.5.
Chance for a skips deuce.
9.5.
Oh, he's going to play the hit though.
That's going to hit.
This is a kind of maybe a preference shot here, maybe.
Yeah, I think. What do you prefer to do? What do you think is easier? That's probably the easier shot. That should sit there based on what we've experienced, what they've experienced watching the ice down. We'll see if Jamie hits the boom and hits the rock with the right speed. All the good things should happen.
This looks really nice
Looks
coming
nice.
in.
It looks
Right
like-
on the nose here, looks like. Oh.
Now.
Shot still. I think, yeah, New Brunswick is still shot up top there. And I don't think there's an easy way for Manitoba to get that out. So opportunity here for New Brunswick to put some pressure on and draw it in there again.
And we're getting another look at it. Just had to hit it a little higher.
Just a little bit, eh? Yeah.
Would have stayed there for shot, but like you said. He's just going to play it. He's just going to play a draw in there.
Yeah.
That's about all he's got.
Yeah.
Red is shot.
So,
Okay.
oh, that's what they're checking. So yeah, red shot, red's 1-2. New Brunswick trying to get third rock in there to put the pressure on Manitoba. The skipper's going to have to come through with something here if Manitoba's going to score.
So question for you though, say if he doesn't get this in there, is Manitoba going to take it? Do you think there is a shot there for Manitoba to take a bit of a chance with that yellow run?
Well, they're laying
Ready?
2.
If they don't get it in there.
If they don't get in,
Could be for a bundle.
could be for a bundle. Yeah.
So you're going to want
Risk
to make
it. It's that risk versus reward thing,
Right.
right?
This might be through.
Got a little leg, got some,
It's got to slow down, put the brakes on.
and it slips it through. Okay, so now what we're going to do.
Line, how much can you see of this?
Yeah.
Looking at it.
I'm-
Just under
yeah.
half.
Yeah, he's got
Yes,
two options.
I
He can
just need
play.
you to hit here.
He can play
Okay. With that same 9.5.
Yeah,
I
he
got
just needs to hit
8.5
what he
before,
sees.
So 8.5.
and angle that onto this
you
one
want
here,
9.5?
and this one should go
8.5.
out there. The other one I
Okay.
was talking was this one
That's the
here.
same as looking through
So
this last one.
It's in order for that to happen, Danielle, you need a fair amount of rock speed to make all
Yeah.
those combinations work. So
Yeah.
he's gonna have to.
Or do you want to draw?
I like
Like
the
red
risk
is
here.
shot.
What's the worst? They only get one.
I agree.
I like the risk
Okay.
here. And he can throw the weight.
He can throw the weight. There's no doubt that Jamie can throw the weight. It's just a matter to get there's not a lot, he can't see a whole lot. So he just skinnies the guard, he could be okay, but he needs weight.
Yeah, it's framed well to make it, so.
He is going to be
He's
very,
gonna be
very
really close.
Very
He's got to curl up just a hair. Great shot. Is it going to get enough to get out?
Perfect.
And that's for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What a great shot there by Manitoba to finish the third end there. So they take a 5-1 lead now.
Jamie made a very, very nice shot. We kind of recovered from his one he made last time.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
And welcome back. What a fantastic shot by Skip from Manitoba there to score their 4-angle run there to get their 4. Take a 5-1 lead.
The nice thing about it, Danielle, is they looked at it, they called it, and he made it. And it was a tough shot because there's only about maybe half of that rock showing.
Right. But definitely risk versus reward. I mean, the worst case is you give them one, right? And the best is you could get 4 there. So I think it was definitely worth the chance to take. Great draw here by lead as well, too, for Manitoba.
Yeah, Dennis Season came right in on the almost edge of the button. So, again,
You want it back,
Brunswick's
James?
coming back down to playing a draw up to it, I guess.
Give you an update, too, as well. Saskatchewan 2 stole 1 more point over Alberta 1, and they have a 2-0 lead.
And we're waiting for... So this is actually James is throwing lead rocks for New Brunswick.
Ontario 1 was able to get their 1 on the third end, but Saskatchewan 1 still has a 5-1 lead.
And New Brunswick's rocks coming in. It's going to be a nice shot.
This looks really nice.
Just
yeah.
sit the Manitoba back, and I presume that.
There's this much between. Yeah, I want to hit it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no doubt they want to get rid of that.
What kind of speed?
They're waiting.
Want it off the rock or on the rock? On the rock. It's on the rock.
Must be a Manitoba thing. Dennis, look at the one eye too.
I don't care if
Gotta check that out.
I didn't want to get rid of that one.
Yeah, just make it go away, I think is the big thing. And you got a 4-point lead like that. It's running
Got a nice shot
straight.
coming.
Yeah.
They sure aren't moving much. You watch them come down that line. They don't move right until the
Very end.
very
Yeah,
end,
great
yeah.
shot.
Especially that rock speed. "24 minutes
Got the dash.
for New Brunswick and 25 minutes
Do it
left
again,
for
James.
for Manitoba.
Same weight.
That's pretty well safe right across the whole board.
Last evening's draw, we had teams getting a little tight on time. You kind of like to end up going to the break with about 20 minutes, but teams were getting down to 18 minutes. So they had to do some speed curling to catch up.
Make sure you're ready to go right away.
Yeah.
intern rock.
Yeah, didn't make it out.
Quebec was forced to their one on the third end, but still have a 3-1 lead over Ontario. 2.
And New Brunswick and down there. Now second shot. Bumped Manitoba back there to the 12 at the back of the house.
Put it up front. You can
Kind of
be
similar end to like our second end there. We
even.
started getting rocks behind the tee line there and starting to freeze here. So
Yeah.
See what Jill does. He's looking for a draw to the top 12.
I like that because that rock is above the tee line on the 4-foot there. That's a pretty good position stone for Manitoba.
And it's on its way. The other thing you'll notice with especially rotation on curling, the less rotation you have,
So this
generally they'll curl more.
This is running pretty straight here. A good result though for Manitoba.
Very good result. Going for a double.
No, it's okay. It's good. It's all good.
So here's rock speed is going to have an influence on this one.
Nice rotation. It's starting to move. Like we said, it's coming off center pretty hard though. She's going to get the back one.
She is.
That's a good result for New Brunswick though.
Bit of a jam on the back.
Yeah.
Got one out of there.
9.5, 10.
And Newfoundland Labrador was forced to take their one on the third end against British Columbia, but still have a 3-2 lead.
I'm not sure what the call was here, Danielle. Looks like it's a hit. That top one at the edge of the 8-foot. Is there a double involved?
There is a double there, yeah.
Nice throw, Jill.
Nice rotation, like she has.
Yeah.
She has very nice rotation on her stone. There, look at
Beauty.
that.
Oh. Well, that might be good for New Brunswick.
Really nice.
Still hanging around there.
Yeah.
Very nice throw.
It was a really good throw.
Now this is Elaine. Second round.
Yes, correct.
Actually, I'm quite impressed at the amount of rock speed she can generate from that position because there's quite an angle on that stick.
Yeah.
But she's got this one dead on. Good
It's
for
looking
her.
really good.
And a roll over.
Nice
for
little
that
roll
one.
there. Great roll.
Good result out of that one.
Yeah.
She'll be happy with that.
10.
Okay, looking for Mark to pick that one out of there.
Just want to hit it half a rock.
So I think he's telling he does not, or appears not to be concerned about sticking around. He's only going after half a rock.
Right.
I'm not sure where the process is now.
Good shot.
But he did be really successful with this one. But try to get something that athletes could practice on their own without an anchor.
Oh,
is,
yeah.
There's all kinds of devices out there and suggest
Take it
that.
out.
So in some cases where you're an athlete alone in a curling club by yourself, it's very difficult to have either put your chair up against the backboard or something to try to duplicate something similar to the actual game scenario. That's a bit of a challenge.
So as I mentioned, this New Brunswick team participated in the Winter National Championships last year. And they ended up going 1-4 in their round robin pool, which put them into the seeding pool.
So this year they've gone back to the full round robin, correct?
Correct. With 11 teams there, they weren't able to have an even pool. So opportunity here for New Brunswick to maybe get a deuce here. So for Dennis Thiessen, he's probably looking for a bit of a hit and roll here.
Not a lot of ice, so I presume he's throwing.
Yeah.
And as we've observed, they're not moving outside in much as they are the other way around.
Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth.
Could pinch the broom a little bit there.
He
Did it
did,
look like it?
yeah. It's just coming now. It's looking for, now it's curling quite a bit here.
Oh, look at this.
It's going to sit. Great roll.
Nice throw.
And things are working.
That's
hey.
right.
That's a fantastic roll.
I'll just take my own ice and roll around.
It's just a guy. It's just a guy.
I can do that. Not a problem.
Yeah.
There we go. Now, let's see what Sarah can do this shot. Is she throwing down to it? Not a lot of rotation there, very, very limited, little rotation on there, so it's going to start to go across, but I don't think it has enough
juice there to get there. Yeah.
Power to get there. Yeah. So you'll notice, Danielle, a variety of athletes have different support mechanisms on the front of their chair to hang on to, and they go to deliver to enable their shoulders and everything else stay nice and square as they go on the ice. Some have it in front of them, some have it over in front of them. On the other side, and again, just whatever works best for. Some don't have any.
And some don't have any.
Whatever works best for the athlete. So it's just really a personal choice.
Are we trying to come around that red one?
Yeah. Is there anything that's actually taught by?
Or is it again?
If we're open,
I think we've had some. Back when I was still involved in the program,
14-5, you think?
Physio.
4 or 5?
I can't remember the actual name, but they came in and they did some testing and analysis of where what enabled the athlete to stay as straight as possible, and some of it depends on of course their core strength and core ability. If you have core strength, sometimes you don't need it. If you don't have core strength, you need some additional support.
So for this one here, you want to keep it above the tee line is important, so you don't have a freeze. Looking pretty good.
It's going to even wrap around the guard a little bit.
Good shot.
Almost.
Great shot, yeah. There is a bit of a flop here for New Brunswick if he wanted to try and take it on to get behind the guard there. I think there's enough room there with down weight.
I think that's what they're calling for. That's got to come across. Because New Brunswick's rock rotation is quite a bit less than Manitoba's, so they will move a little more than, it depends on the way they're throwing, but a little more than Manitoba's do. I think that's what he's attempting to do, is to move that yellow rock back and attempt to stay there for shot rock.
Ready?
And what's it look like?
It's coming in nice, actually. It's got to move, though. It's got to move a little bit more yet.
Could be a jam at the back.
Good enough.
Oh, got it out of there?
Yeah. But opportunity or decision time here for Manitoba there, I guess.
Pretty wide open.
It is wide open.
Yeah.
You could play yourself.
I want to stick around, so 9.5.
Yeah.
9.5, 10. 9.5. 9 1/4 to 9.5.
That, you know, as a thrower, and we've experienced
Je
too,
comprende.
there is a difference between throwing 9.5 and 10, and so you have to really commit. I mean, it's one thing to throw 9.5 and it be 9.8, but throwing that 9.5 and you end up getting a 10, it's a bit of a difference in the ice that you need. So you need to really commit to what you're throwing.
And that's interesting, Danielle,
Nice throw.
because it does make a difference, right? 9.5 towards 10. That's a
Yeah.
different.
This is really
8,
running
9.
straight. 8-9. And it does
Ooh,
stick
got
for
away with it.
second shot, so
So then there's a combination of ice reading or ice ability, icing the rock, and also the ability to throw the weight that's required and called for based on, because one of the things that I've experienced before, and when you put the broom down, and unless you fully explain to people who haven't curled a lot, is you got to, if you don't know, you got to throw the broom or throw the weight what the broom gives you.
right, yes.
Because you can't throw a big weight and have a big. It doesn't work that way. So I presume he's attempting a cold draw.
Yeah.
He's got to be here. He's got anything full. Well, almost a bite. The 8, he's good.
Ready?
And it's on its way. It's gonna need some legs. I think so.
It's going to be close. I think he's going to be okay. 14-1. I think
Should be good, yeah.
Yeah. Great draw by New Brunswick there, and a great finish. Good way to end the fourth end there. So they get their 1, and Manitoba still has a 5-2 lead here going into the break.
Kiddo. Just one more throw, please.
Thank you for making moments like these possible.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss. But it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
Don't forget the brooms.
You got it!
Come on up. Well, what do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss. But it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
The Men of Curling calendar is more than a date provider. Each edition is packed with beautiful images and tons of curling information too. Support curlers and charity by buying yours today at curlingcares.com.
And welcome back. What a great draw by New Brunswick there to end the fourth end there, to score their one. But they still need a little bit of help there. They're down 5-2 against Manitoba here. But it's been a really well-played game, though, hasn't it?
It's been a great game, and New Brunswick was fortunate to get out of that first end. It was a bit of a looked like could have been a serious setback for them, but they got out of that one, and it's been a great game since. And that four-ender that Manitoba made, that was a gutsy call and one of those risk first reward calls, and it was made and successful. And as a result, they are sitting in a pretty good spot with the scoreboard showing 5-3 and up, or with Hammered playing 5. So the game is on.
Give you a quick update while the other teams are actually in their break as well too. Newfoundland and Labrador was able to steal another point in the fourth end and have a 4-2 lead over British Columbia. Ontario 2 was able to respond with a 2 in the fourth end, and the game is now tied 3-3 for Ontario 2 and Quebec. It was a blank end for Ontario 1 and Saskatchewan 1, with Saskatchewan still leading 5-1. And Saskatchewan 2 was able to steal another point and have a 3-0 lead over Alberta 1.
And over on our sheet, Danielle, the first rock has been played, and New Brunswick is sitting on the top of the biting the 8 foot, and Manitoba is going after attempting to take it out of play. Dennis Thiessen throwing his first rock.
Yeah, so as you can see, Dennis has got his jacket on there. It can be pretty cold there sometimes as a skip out there, and
especially well, of course they don't
sweep or move.
They don't
it's
sweep or
it's
move,
pretty difficult. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. So that's never good as a.
No, not the best sound you want to hear.
No.
There are other words that come out, but that's a better one.
That's a good choice of words. His filter was on. Thank you, Dennis.
Head to Brunswick's on its way again. That's a nice pink broom he's got lined up there. You can see they're very clear. It's interesting that some with the actual material that's on the broom heads that the able-bodied people, it's all the same, correct?
Yes, it is.
So I'm presuming that for wheelchair athletes it really doesn't make any difference, but because they can't use a broom anyway.
They don't do any sweeping, that's correct, yeah.
And the intern draw is on its way down.
It's looking pretty nice coming in.
So an able-bodied game, Danielle, did you experience after the break? Was there a bit of a change in ice conditions?
Yeah.
Faster, slower?
Well, here for the Wheelchair Nationals or for any type of event, they do a quick mop in between the fourth end. So it could be a little bit quicker for the first two ends after the break. And as we mentioned too, the pebble does wear down, the ice does wear down. So I'm thinking near the end of the 6th, definitely the 7th, that the time will start to slow down for these curlers.
That's traditionally what we had experienced too, as we was attempting the double there, or
I think that just hit and stay.
Amazing and stuck around.
Yeah, he's very lucky it stuck around there, so that's good.
It's interesting because that, if you watch from where the athletes in wheelchair curling throw in that spot right down the center, that 18 inches. Later, especially on 7 and 8, when the draw is required, if it's needed there, and they come through that spot, because that spot has had a lot of rocks on the surfaces of contact with the ice in that particular location, a lot more than any other places. So you have to be very careful, because if it crosses through that path, then it can have the pebble will wear down there more than anyplace else because of the number of rocks that have gone through there. So that has an impact on the rock speed as well. There's all kinds of little variables that add into this sport, isn't there?
Right.
Yep. Really nice.
Another nice guard thrown up by New Brunswick.
The 10. Yeah.
It's interesting too, as the game progressed during the years, Danielle, the location of where the rocks would be placed off that, which allowed that 18-inch process, because that can have a huge impact on your ability to get around the guard compared to throwing down from the center line.
So when it comes to throwing that and moving the rock, what's the thought process for that location of the rock then?
Well, it just allows you to have a better angle at the rock. So if you're looking at sitting in the hack, well, from an able-bodied point of view, if you're sitting in the hack, And looking straight down versus from
Gonna
the
get the. Oh, that was so close.
there,
Yeah.
Robbie.
Nice shot.
To the wheelchair, you can move over side, so now you have a better view of that rock in behind the
Right.
cart. Actually, the team from China were the ones that were very, very accurate at that till the rest of the world caught on. Jerry Peckham was a big believer of that. Jerry was former high performance director for Curling Canada, and very active in the wheelchair program too. He was a big believer. It took us a while to get
more, would have missed.
that
Would have curled any less, you would have
implemented into our program. And now it's, of course, all over.
So developmentally, with your experience at the Worlds, who has, who do you think has probably the most wheelchair curlers, or who has really grown the sport, or like how is Canada even doing in regards to developmental of the wheelchair curling itself? Do you think?
Well,
based
it's
on what you know.
Yeah, it's interesting you asked that, Danielle. They have changed a lot in the program in Canada in order to attempt to get additional athletes involved in the program. Right now, we're dealing with 3 new categories in the developmental program, and the one is what they've classified as the Senior B athletes in Canada. Right now, they've selected 3 to be in that program, and then they have a next gen program, which Wendy Morgan, who is the original one of the team leaders in wheelchair curling, she has 4 in her program. That's where Jill Hopkins came from, and also the next gen prospects. There's 7 in the program, so they've got 13 additional athletes involved in the program. Because Canada at that level, and hopefully that's how they're going to continue to grow and develop athletes for the Canadian team representing us at the Worlds.
And I know provincially, Curl Sask has done a fantastic job, as well as our local coaches, Lloyd Teely and Lorraine Arguin, and having come and try wheelchair curling days. We've done that in the north and the south, one in Regina and one in Saskatoon, and it's really helped getting people and bringing awareness for the sport. And that's how these 4 new curlers this year came out. They participated in that day and quite enjoyed it. And they did recruit 3 new curlers last year for it. Things just didn't work out for those 3 participants that were here last year at Nationals. But they're still curling, I believe. We're still trying to give back to the sport. So they're still part of it, just maybe not the national level now.
We have to rely on the back.
One of the challenges that we've always had, Danielle, as long as I was working with the program, is you get some people who are very interested in the program. They go out, they'd attempt it and try it, and they'd come off after, their attempts, and the first thing they'd look at me and they'd say, "It's cold out there." It is. Like a lot of them, that's what they felt. It's too cold out there for me. But I'm delighted to see that Saskatchewan's got some additional people involved, and it's hopefully it's happening across the country, because I do know they've had some next-gen athlete camps across Canada for all kinds of different locations. So hopefully they continue to grow the sport.
Well, and you talk about cold, and I'm not sure if anybody have been paying attention, but yes, all the athletes, some of them are wearing their winter boots out there. Some are wearing their street shoes out there, depending on what it is. For some of these athletes, like, trying to stay warm, making sure you're bundled up. Do they wear hot paws? You know what I mean?
A lot of them do, Danielle, and some of them even have the jackets now that have the heated jackets, the heated, the heated boots and those kinds of things in your shoes. There's shoes now that plug in that have actual battery-operated heaters in their feet.
Oh wow!
So there's all kinds of methods and ways you can continue to stay warm. But as some of them share with me, they say, "Wait, I don't know when my feet are cold because I can't feel them."
They can, yeah.
So that's that's another challenge. So as we sit here and look at this end developing, we have New Brunswick laying 1. Is that what it looks like to you?
I believe so, yeah.
I'll draw another one in the house with the. And I think that one is going to need a little help.
It's a little light, yeah. This might be drink worthy.
Yep, it's going to make it past that.
She's good. She's good. She doesn't have to spend any money on that one.
3-5, we'll tap that one back.
So I can't, not quite sure what Manitoba's asking here.
He's calling for a tap back. Oh, coach over here is calling for a timeout. Might have to start jumping and dancing here. No one's paying attention.
Hang on.
There,
time
now
out,
he sees
time out.
coach making a timeout here.
What's up?
And there's a timeout being called by Team Manitoba.
I don't mind Dennis's thought process here and playing the tap back. In a sense, if you can tap that back or maybe even open up that back red one, because New Brunswick is shot on the other side, you know, maybe to get generated too and get that other yellow counted. But the other side of it too is the top of the forefoot is open. So do you think it's better to race them to top 4 as opposed to play in the shot that he's calling?
I thought that was a good call.
But I think what he's trying to do is bring that yellow back into play.
And that's exactly
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
it's, you know.
He thinks that's the only way that you can get that yellow back in play, and it's.
So I don't mind I like the call that Dennis was calling. I wonder if coach is just thinking maybe they should play the top 4, right? So race
What do
them
you
in.
want to see?
But the other side of it too is those guards are pretty high. And if you can throw that back 8 weight, you can probably get enough finish that, you know, if say if New Brunswick puts a spot there, they'd be okay as well too getting in there. So.
First. Okay.
Like this side, this is a perfect spot for us.
Okay.
Where you put yours, right?
Okay.
So what you want to be, yeah, right there.
Yeah.
If you happen to be a little heavy, fine.
But
I
we
mean,
we want to be in the house. So
absolutely. Well, yeah, we want to be.
We got to be in the house.
Yeah, right there, right there.
Okay.
8 foot.
Okay.
Top 4.
Okay.
So I think, Danielle, that he was, that they were, in his earlier comments, that they were, you know, the coach figured that they're going to come in anyway. So I think he's thinking of maybe taking that one away, and I'm not, but I do, you know, there's always different options when, you know, through the eyes of different people doing that. But, you know, I would lean to go and attempt to get that yellow rock in the scoring. Right now, they're not. The way this shot is being called, that yellow rock is not going to be included in the scoring.
So you would prefer to play that tap then?
I would have tried that.
Yeah.
You know, if you tap it, if it depended, if you get it in, easily get it in play. There's a whole house to tap it to open that back one up, so you could have a chance to crack it 3. So I think that would have been my call.
Yeah.
I'm not coach, but
yeah. So this is a preference just to beat them in. So. But you want to make sure you're shot after this one.
It's got to be in the house.
Yeah.
Looks like it's.
Line is good. It's got to put the brakes on, I think.
Got to put the pads on.
Oh.
That's where the.
Playing the tap would have been.
Would have been. You'd had more options there. Variables.
Right.
But.
So opportunity here for New Brunswick to get one around.
Pressure on. Take the. It appears right now that Manitoba is going to be forced to 1.
So interesting too, as you may have watched the Scotties and the Brier, teams only had 1 timeout for their nationals, but here at Wheelchair Nationals they still are allowed their 2 timeouts.
They get 2.
They are allowed 2 timeouts, so.
So this is a key shot for New Brunswick to take this end away from, to force Manitoba into being challenged to get more than 1.
That's right. Nice rotation here. Good throw.
He just relies on his shot he made in the last end.
Exactly right.
He's got the weight in his back pocket. So.
Yeah. Line's looking really good coming in. This looks really nice.
And it's going to be, he's taking that run back away.
Yeah, great shot.
Perfect. Very pleased with that one.
Yeah. So Dennis is thinking here. That's a tough draw to go around, but I think it's still there.
They're 1-2. You want to come down here? Do you want to tap that, or do you want to draw down here?
Some options there. You know, the same shot that they were looking at before is still there.
Yes.
Yeah,
but it just.
I guess we should try and come around. Okay.
The good news is that they just seen it twice.
So that was a 14-7.
Yeah.
Yeah, so use the information every time you get a chance.
Yeah, they got to share that, communicate with what is expected, as you mentioned
4-5.
before, where the broom is and in relationship to what the expected outcome of the rock is. So, I'll watch it. Jamie's got the one eye closed, the one eye open, so. And it's on its way.
Yeah, it's a little wide. A little warm too, I think. Put the brakes on. Need a little pebble there.
Goes.
Pick. Is it gonna stop in time?
Oof.
Yeah.
Too much.
I think he did stop for
I
second.
think his second shot.
Based on the logos there, I think.
I think so.
But if New Brunswick puts this one top 4, or even, you know, a similar spot there, that's going to be pretty tough for Manitoba. He's not going to be able to have the same path to throw on again.
And we're waiting for the New Brunswick skip to throw his last rock in the 5th end with the score 5-2 for Manitoba. And right now, as we sit in the 5th end, New Brunswick is laying shot rock and
ready?
Is in the process of throwing the final rock for the skip. That one looks like it's out there a ways too, Danielle, but may come back. He doesn't have a lot of rotation on his, so his will come back more than.
Yes, its finishing looks a little light here, I think. So good news for Manitoba. He can throw in a very similar path here.
So would you ever have a look at coming around the other side with the out turn up to this red one? Or it wouldn't help many because that one's.
What's that?
That's shot.
Are they counting?
At least do that backing, right?
Right.
They're lying 1. We got to draw down here.
Yeah, I like this.
You don't want to hit and double.
No.
This is the shot here, and and the good news for him, though, he's got to think to himself, he just made it.
He just threw it, yeah.
Might be a little more ice, but it's going to be pretty much the exact same path. So
throw it down.
Yeah. And as well too, as a thrower, you don't want to think you have backing, but he does at least have backing, right? Like it's.
Yeah, if he doesn't get out there too far, it should. Once he by that top guard, he should be okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And the final stone of the 5th end is delivered here. See what shakes down. Line's looking pretty good.
Nice, yeah. As long as he's got enough weight to get there, which I'm not sure.
It's starting to slow down. And he's on the front. Oh.
By there,
Oh,
by there,
there.
by there. Oh,
just a little bit. So great end for New Brunswick here. Narrowly missed the draw of Manitoba. So New Brunswick gets the steal of 1, and Manitoba still has a 5-3 lead going into the 6th.
Don't forget your brooms.
Come on up.
Well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, you got.
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
And welcome back. Manitoba just narrowly missed their draw for their 1. And New Brunswick was able to steal a point there. But Manitoba still has control of the game with a 5-3 lead going into the 6th end here.
And as we look towards the very simple basic rules of the wheelchair program in Canada, simply you need to have, it's a mixed program and there has to be 1 female on the ice at all times. And game consists, as we obviously know, 8 ends and a couple little novice things. Your feet of the athlete cannot touch the ice. Did you know that?
Oh.
Cannot touch the ice. And the other one is that the wheels of your of the chair must stay in contact with the ice, so you can't rock back and get the wheels off.
Drawn in.
There we go. There's a trivia for this afternoon.
So no burnouts out on the ice for them.
Yeah, you can't take it. Skid around.
Alberta 1 was able to score a point in the 5th end there. But Saskatchewan 2 still has a 3-1 lead over there.
And back on our sheet, Danielle Dennis Thiessen throwing lead rocks for Manitoba is attempting to come into the house.
No, that's good. No, that's good.
He's okay with being out front by the sounds of it, so
yeah.
Throwing a guard up.
At this time, we'd like to thank Curling Canada for giving Moose Jaw the opportunity to host this wonderful event, and thank you to Curl Moose Jaw for hosting and the volunteer support, as well as Tourism Saskatchewan. Visit Moose Jaw and Sask Lotteries. Day champion sponsors we'd like to recognize are Dr. Lee Chong at Main Street Dental, First Steps Wellness Center, and URO Medical Supplies. And friends of the championship, Family Pizza, Motion Cares, Fish's Pharmacy, Moose Jaw Express, Dr. Andrea Lavoie Medical Professional Corporation, Boogar Industries Limited. So thank you all for your support. These events don't run by themselves. And if you have an opportunity to support those local businesses, that'd be much appreciated.
So we were watching, I guess James has the anchor is one of the is it a timekeeper or just a volunteer?
So yeah, as you notice, there's lots of volunteers to put these events on, and so he's one of the rock cleaners, and sometimes you have double duties, and yes, you will be an anchor down there. So thank you to all these volunteers to help out.
Events of such at this stage would never occur without all the help and support that you get in, and all the coaches that travel with the athletes and take the time to be here with them as well.
So quick update, Ontario 2 was able to steal 2 in the 5th and have a 5-3 lead over Quebec.
It's too heavy.
And Manitoba's having trouble getting the rock in. It's going to stop though.
Things should be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brunswick is not afraid to draw.
No.
They're just let them come in the house.
Yeah.
You got this, Elaine.
Earlier on in the event, New Brunswick had the other team. They got 6, and then they stole 1, and then so New Brunswick was down 7-0, and then in the 3rd end, they ended up scoring a 7. So I'm not sure how that happened or what transpired, but based on obviously lots of draws, I'm thinking that was how they got their 7 points. So
get the rocks in play.
Get the rocks. Yeah, you can't score if they're not in play.
No.
So
can't count the ones not in the house.
That's right.
And I think it's got a little short on this one.
Yeah.
So we'll see what Joe's gonna. Shot called right back in, probably on top of the yellow one she just threw.
I believe so. Yeah. Top 8 would be great here.
No. Actually, I didn't even notice you coming down there, Martin.
Yeah, Jill throws a very nice rotation on her stones. They're gonna.
Looks a little warm though, yeah.
It's good.
Let's try to put the brakes on. Nope, looks really good.
Right on Keeler.
Right on it.
Look at
Good
that.
job.
Yeah, she'll be happy with that shot.
Take it out. Forward weight.
So how are these athletes, or during your time, how are they identified to be in the the next gen programs and
What we used to do when I was coaching the program is I would be at this event, and you would observe and take some notes about who was there, and the coaches of all of the teams. We would invite them to, submit a team or an athlete of theirs that they thought would be
Nice
very
shot.
good. Of course, then the next process that had to happen there was
great shot.
great shot.
Oh wow, who can, that's a nice shot.
Because at this particular level in Canada, they don't need any medical justification as to why they should be able to curl. In the Worlds, you do. But there's a whole process of adjudicating your abilities or whether or not you can actually get certified to curl in the national program. So even though they want to, they're good, if they don't pass that process, certification process, they can't curl in the national program. So you go out and you find as many athletes as you can, and if they're interested in participating in the program.
This looks like a great shot coming in here too.
Very nice.
Great shot again.
Good shot. So that's how basically how it unfolds, and then from there, whoever is selected and is invited to participate, you go through the testing process, and if you qualify for that, then you get slotted in whichever program you possibly are available to be into.
Hope so.
And that next gen program, like I said, Wendy Morgan is a manager of that, and I'm not sure, I didn't really follow them that much this year, how many camps they have, but I know they've identified a variety of new participants in the program. So
That's exciting for wheelchair curling in Canada.
looks like my shot coming down.
Starting to finish.
Starting to
It's
come
finishing
across
hard,
center line, yeah.
As soon as it crosses that center, it's going to be tough to keep it there.
Oh,
Just missed.
just by.
I knew it.
It's always interesting hearing their response.
Yeah.
Manitoba can put some heat on now if they
If
get
you
a
creep onto the 12, that's okay.
creep. Mark
What's
doing
that?
Third Rocks, Manitoba.
Yeah.
They've got to put a guard up here, then it's going to be a little journey for New Brunswick to get rid of some stones out of there.
Newfoundland and Labrador was able to steal another point in the fifth end and have a 5-2 lead over British Columbia.
Mark's Rock, look, it appears it's...
Line looks pretty nice.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Pretty close to 15.
Probably bite. They're going to be laying 3, I think. He's going to be right in here.
That's good.
Great alignment for
That
all
was
three of those rocks.
14.88.
14.88, so 14.5 probably still, hey?
It hasn't slowed down any.
Nope, it's been really good.
Lord.
So Sarah is going to have to bail the team out here. Is there a triple there with enough weight?
With enough weight, yeah.
I don't think...
I think the biggest thing for New Brunswick is just to kind of even get the rocks back behind T line there, and
this looks like it's going to do some damage.
she's got some weight here. It's starting to finish though.
One for sure.
One for sure.
And that's it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Sticking around.
15.
And I ask it for exact same shot. That's always nice. So you can sit and hack and throw exactly what I just threw.
Same path, same everything, right?
Same everything, correct.
Yeah. Just hopefully your rocks are the same though. So that'll be something that I'm sure their coaches are tracking as well too with how the rocks are reacting, and curling here. I know there is a few rocks that
Have some challenges.
they have some challenges, yeah.
They don't want to behave like they're supposed to. This one, I think, it appears to me that he threw it out.
Yeah. Little soft rotation though, so it might finish hard
That's
on
right, yeah. Here
Let's
it comes
try
down.
Line's looking pretty good.
Nice shot, Mark.
Yeah, all they're asking for it to be in the way.
Yeah, that's
And
a
it is.
Really nice.
great shot. There's a bit of an opening there to play that in turn though.
Okay.
That's about all they got.
Yeah.
Deciding which way to come in turn.
Well, I might pick it out, might jam over there. It's worth a try. And if I hit that one out of the way, yeah, I'll try it. I was tempted to look at just coming down to that one, but those guards are sort of in my way in the draw path. Yeah, right on the center line.
Yeah, I think, Danielle, that anything. Well, you picked the top one.
What if you paid? What if you honestly did play like a back four weight or T-line weight, and say if you ended up, you know, if you had back four weight, and if you ended up hitting the top one there, at least you're in position.
It was my idea.
To take it away,
that's
so
why
maybe
I'm
we should.
asking, 'cause it usually are my idea.
So, you know, for draw path here.
Yeah,
you know,
without, they could just if you threw 11.
Yeah, and just kind of, if you know, kind of go here. But if you ended up being tight and then hit off
there,
and just stay here,
roll there,
and then he ends up in that position, that's pretty difficult for Manitoba to deal with. But
he doesn't have a. He must be throwing.
I think he's throwing heat.
Yeah.
I'd like to keep my shooter in the shot, so that's why I'd.
Good.
He's
Might
curling
hit
on.
that
I think he's on the
guard,
guard
though.
already.
That top yellow.
You want to make sure you roll off to that.
And hit our red out.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, it opened it up.
Oh, it's okay.
You rolled out too.
Yeah,
They
it rolled out too. So.
So Jamie's got to cover it up.
Same thing. Again, even as a player too, I mean, this is his first shot here, but he's seen it 2 times in a row, and the Skip's seen it 2 times in a row.
Yeah, and as you mentioned earlier there, the communication is, I'm sure that they know what the rock speeds are doing, and he's thrown rock speed before, so it's a matter. He could even afford here to be right in the top 12.
Absolutely.
Or even maybe better off in top 12 than. Not a lot of rotation, but it's coming.
Looking nice coming in.
Need some. And he is going to have a nice shot.
Great rock location
Super.
there.
Great job.
It sure shrinks that hole there, doesn't it?
Mhm.
So.
I mean, there's probably, you could maybe see
To get at it, if I tap it back.
half a rock.
Yeah, if that.
If that.
Yeah, no, that looks pretty thin there.
So I'm not sure what he's attempting. Just a draw. So the other thing, Danielle, looking at this right now, if you threw the, it would be the in-turn down through the hole. Which
That you just did?
Yeah. And just throw where he just did. And like I said, if he rubs off the top one, you don't have to have a lot of weight. But if nothing else, it ensure that he holds him down to, or makes it very difficult for Manitoba to score more than. He might even take the whole end away by putting another rock in there. Okay, well, you know, we're happy, content to give you one.
Absolutely.
Gives it 3 here. It makes a
Kind of
long
opens
drive.
up the game, doesn't it, for Manitoba?
Yeah. So he's just trying to straight draw.
Yeah. Shrinks the scoring area, I guess, in some ways. He's got to try and get around that top yellow one to score, to hold him to 1.
Oh, don't roll. Ah, right out the open.
Yeah.
So
maybe he'll Manitoba's line 2 right now.
9.5.
9.5?
Yeah.
We're not ready to go yet.
So final rock here for Jamie coming down.
Picks that out. He's got
9.5 weight, so he's going to throw it all. He's just
Not 8.5?
Oh, 8. Oh, he's giggling.
He likes to throw that. He loves that high.
Dennis said 9.5.
So Jamie's going to throw probably a 9.
Let's see what he does here.
Okay, put the clock on him. See what he's going to give us.
Yeah.
Got the one eye lined up. And they're Rock's on its way.
Line looks
Oh,
really-
no.
Oh no, he's a little no.
Oh, this is Mike's
dream gonna come true?
your dream is gonna come true.
He's only gonna he's gonna hit and roll out here.
Not quite.
Not quite.
Not quite.
9-7, so he threw the weight. So
Yeah,
Manitoba
yeah.
got there 2 here, just missed their opportunity for 3, but nonetheless take a 7-3 lead on New Brunswick here. That was all.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
The Men of Curling calendar is more than a date provider. Each edition is packed with beautiful images and tons of curling information too. Support curlers and charity by buying yours today at curlingcares.com.
And welcome back. Manitoba was able to get there 2, narrowly missing a chance for 3 there, but nonetheless take a 7-3 lead playing the 7th end. So I'm sure Manitoba, with them having a 4-point lead, they do not need guards. They don't need rocks behind the tee line. But whereas New Brunswick, it's going to be a lot of the draw game.
And they've demonstrated that they've executed that very well this game, and just had a couple of unfortunate breaks. Otherwise, it would have been a closer game than it is. It's that 4-ender that still made the big difference, Danielle.
Correct, yeah.
Risk versus reward shot there, and they made it, got it, and, just about tried to give it away last time.
They did, yeah.
And I think given the, if you look at the scoreboard, there's nothing wrong with that yellow rock being it's going to end up where it could have been out the back, would have been just as good as any place.
Absolutely. That's a great spot.
That's a nice spot.
Great
spot.
spot.
To the front, yeah.
Yes.
Draw.
So he's going right back in. There's always 2 variables that always happen in these kind of situations, that they go in and the other team keeps hitting and hitting and hitting, and they keep sticking around. Pretty soon you look down the ice, you got just 4 rocks to the opposite team, and we've made 4 good shots too.
Right. So was the wheelchair curling ever 10 ends, or was it always 8?
As far as I know, it's always been 8.
Always been 8, hey? Yeah.
Yeah, the only big differences that occurred during that was the 18-inch lines that went in that allowed that to happen. And it was interesting, Danielle, when first some of the teams were throwing from the hack.
I like that.
Oh.
Like they were right at the back of the house throwing from the hack. Some of them, they still think there's some variations to where
I'm going to be short.
with the chair.
Yeah,
where they go.
Yeah, I'll be short.
So it's progressed in the abilities of the athletes, some of the equipment that they've used. But as far as the game, basically, it's a standard and follows most of the Canadian curling rules as possible. They do some alterations for the wheelchair curling.
Dennis's second rock coming down here in the 7th end.
He's asking, he wanted to be short, so I guess they're going to
go hard for the steal, I guess.
Hard for the steal. We're going to make this a short game.
Yeah.
One more out here. The other thing, Danielle, that is interesting,
Whoa.
If you notice from the able-bodied, you could not touch that rock because it's still by the center line.
Correct.
But in wheelchair curling, that is not in effect.
That is correct.
Free guards is in effect, but they pick the rock off center line is not.
based on your experience as well too, going through different clubs, are a lot more facilities wheelchair accessible than they have been in the past, or some working on it? I know, for example, like the Cali has the ramps that they put in. Our facility here is mostly ground level, or they have ramps built in, so it's a new facility. At the Hillcrest, at the old one, they had the lift, I guess, for the wheelchairs to go down, because we had the lobby downstairs. Did you find curling clubs were becoming more accessible or working on it, or?
To be really honest, Danielle, we've done a very poor job of that. Across Canada, even over in Europe and many of the locations we were playing in Europe.
Oh, that's too bad for New Brunswick there.
Make it over the Hogback.
Yeah.
But they are getting better. Any of the newer events, the new venues are all wheelchair accessible, and some of them are making attempts. But even in the Worlds, we played in Switzerland, and the athletes had to go in through the mechanical room to get on the ice. There's the only way they could get in there. There was no way that they could get up to the viewing area because it was all steps. So, it's getting better. All of wherever you go to the Paralympic Act, they're obviously much better. But in the other events, it's still a struggle to find locations that are really accessible. This is, again, one of the nicest that I've seen in the world. There's another location in the States that has another very, very, very nice facility.
A little heavy.
Wausau.
That's okay.
Beautiful rink, relatively new, and their accessibility is great too. But no, we don't do a good job of that in Canada.
Just slides through the house there.
Right out the back door.
And in those situations
Throw a can at it.
you actually don't
If
really
you
want to be
feel the
behind T
guard,
line and be
that's
back
fine.
four there, because then it's going to give an opportunity for New Brunswick. So rock location for both teams is really critical right now.
And then there's always a guess out there. When do you start throwing them through? Like, when do you not need any rocks in play?
Absolutely.
Because the more rocks you get in play, obviously the better it is for the opposition to try to score big points. This has got some speed.
British Columbia was able to get their 1 point in the sixth end, but are still down 5-3 to Newfoundland Labrador. Oh, that's a tough break there too.
Let's try that again.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
Having some sort of
Little
contact
shorter,
would have
though.
been nice for New Brunswick there, but
yeah. She had lots of weight. All she had to do is
she
get some,
did, yeah.
let some stuff go in. The only thing is, in that situation, Daniel, there's a point in time when you look at scoreboard and say, we need to be in the house.
Yes,
we need to be there.
That's part of the weight control and playing that softer weight, and
especially when you're down.
You need rocks in play.
Yeah,
so.
you need rocks in the rings. So the Rocks and Rings program comes in.
Nice rock.
They choke this off, it's going to be a bit of a... Oh, that's going to come deeper yet. There's an opportunity now to weld one in there.
Yeah.
Get it there. It's wide
Hit it.
open.
Take some time and make sure of your alignment.
Quebec was able to get their 1 in the 6th, but are still down 5-4 to Ontario 2.
Bit surprised New Brunswick trying to take this out. I think they'd be, another option would be just to tap it back and keep it in play. They can still get shot, still have one at the back. It would be to their benefit rather than,
That's better.
than not.
That's better.
So you don't want to be wide and roll out, and you don't want to just tick the red and roll out, and it's...
Okay.
There's the rollout. So
Yeah, you need that rock in play.
yeah.
It's top 12. Out is fine.
Yeah, unless they're in the ring, it's pretty hard to count them. So the more that they're going out the back door, Manitoba is happy about that.
What was Jill's time? 14. 14-5.
So yeah, they're definitely a team that you hear lots of rock or hog-to-hog times there. It's moving already.
Yeah, it is. But it's not going to hurt them to be sure.
Nope.
14.89 is what I got.
That looks pretty good coming
Yeah,
in
what
here.
did you get?
Great location.
Okay, well, it's 14.
That's a really good location, and with New Brunswick there, even if they do hit, which they shouldn't be doing, but if they were to do that, they wouldn't roll in, right? So for Manitoba, that's a great rock location. But it does definitely force New Brunswick. It's framed pretty well for New Brunswick to draw around there.
You know, the other, would you ever try to come around on the
other side?
On the other side, and you know, you got your yellow there. You could
for sure. You could definitely, yeah.
Move it over, get it out in the open.
Yeah.
Get another crack at it. I think this is harder to come in there than the other side. It's on its way.
Oops, a little. 1275.
1275. That's probably going to be through.
Yeah, I think it needs some brakes. That's not going to make it.
Yeah.
So, and in case you missed it as well, too, Moose Jaw is going to be hosting the 2025 Men's Worlds Championship. So we're pretty excited. So where this curling is taking place right now will become our patch area.
What's that?
And, it'll be a rocking good time.
Yeah. That'd be a great event. I was really excited to hear that for the province and for it's one of the few times we get to host it this close to home. And this will be a beautiful facility. I was here when they had the Scotties.
Oh,
and
yes.
That's
2015 and 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a great venue for that.
And then the Canada Cup in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great facility. Viewing is beautiful out there on the hockey ice and the hockey arena.
They're definitely choking the scoring area here for the draw area there.
You're going to have to come around the other side, I think.
I think so too, yeah.
Yeah, he's looking at that now.
He's still convinced, though.
Still convinced that that's the side.
14 seconds.
Makes it a little tougher now because you're starting to go a little bit wider to the wings there. Whether or not you're going to catch the curl there, right? Or if it's going to hang there, depending on your weight.
And the other thing is you don't know what the actual ice conditions are out there because there hasn't been rocks out there played for a while.
It's been a while, you're right.
So that's going to have could have an impact.
Yeah.
Looks like she's on the guard to me.
Yeah, I believe so too.
Is it a function of the weight?
So I'm not sure what the weight she threw.
Yeah,
Like that could have been too different. That where that rock started compared to where what's happened.
Oh dear.
I don't mind being short, but we can be here. But short is better.
I'm amazed that they haven't looked at the other side yet.
Like 15.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like being aggressive here for Manitoba.
Yeah, you might as well go in now.
Yeah.
Jamie was with the national program for a good number of years and decided that was enough. He's got a great background in Skidoo racing.
Oh, wow.
He had a team to travel across North America racing for a good number of years, and then as a result of his accident, that he still does a lot of driving.
There.
So what do you throw on that one?
15.6 I got, so.
And if
That
I
mess
clear
of
the
rocks up
guard,
there.
I'll be happy. If I clear the guard out of there.
So he's still running the guard in.
He could simply just draw around because more likely he's probably gonna have to play a draw on his last one, so it might be a good chance to.
I agree. Yeah, if we put the put it on the. Do they have the telestrator going? Give it a shot.
You're on.
Yeah, I think he came around. All you had to do is get a piece of the 8. That would be
Because he's got lots of room and just needs, even if he's here, that makes it pretty difficult. So that's a high enough guard, I think.
He could come around. This is
ready.
It's going to be a challenge for him to score this end. Maybe he's going to do what we thought we should do anyway.
Oh, is he going to pick it? He's really
just got the guard. If he got by the guard, that yellow could have been gone.
Yes. But for Manitoba here, just put the guard back up and.
Yeah, anything in there will be ideal for them. But it would have been, because they're probably going to have to make the draw for the point in the last shot. So let's take a crack at the first one. We'll see what Jamie does here. Last rock for the Manitoba team in this
7th end.
7th end.
Get over.
He's talking to it.
Really short.
Well, short is good because then he can't run it back, but it's got to be over.
He's over.
He's good. That's actually really good because that makes it even more difficult for New Brunswick on their last one there. He's definitely forced to play the draw now. That's a, well, no, I take that back. New Brunswick can play, definitely.
Well, come through the hole.
Come through the hole there,
I
and
won't just pick our red one out.
Gets to
little less ice.
Gets to as much nose as he can.
I'd say
and
about
that yellow is gone.
About here. I'll be throwing some weight.
Yeah, it needed to come a little farther. That yellow rock. Thought it was going to close it up, but it didn't.
It did not.
It's going to be it's there as long as doesn't, like he said, pick his own red rock out of play and leave the yellow sitting there. So hopefully it'll work out for New Brunswick. And there's Skip.
There is some risk here, but I think the risk is definitely worth it right now in this time of game. I mean, they're already down 4, playing the 7th end, so I think this is the shot to play here.
Yeah, he has no other choice.
No,
trying to get this way, you get 2.
Yeah, he's got to try first 2 here.
So Mike Fitzgerald, Skip is getting ready for his last shot in 7th end.
You have the one. Okay. Ready?
That's coming over
looking
pretty hard.
I think he's going to
straight.
Oh no, tough break there for New Brunswick. Actually, I thought it looked pretty good. So Manitoba gets another steal of 1 and takes an 8-3 lead.
Just about.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You can throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
The sports landscape continues to change, and teams and facilities are under more pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. They need the right team to deliver their product. Look no further than IKS Live. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience across all platforms.
And welcome back. New Brunswick narrowly missed an opportunity there for to get their 2 there, but it was a steal of 1 for Manitoba there in the 7th end and to take an 8-3 lead.
And I think Manitoba just going to throw the first one through. They do not need rocks in play, and so Thiessen has elected to throw the first one right through.
Yeah.
So on the scoreboard, when they're scoring that, Danielle, they do not count that, correct? Like if you're doing percentages?
New Brunswick's? Oh, no,
that
no,
no,
throw
those
through.
through? That's a 0, or not a 0?
It's an X.
But it's X.
It's an X.
So it does not,
Yeah.
it does not impact the...
It's not a freebie for the leads, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And both teams are actually really good for time here. 4 minutes, almost 5 minutes, and 9 minutes left. It's the game has felt like it's gone by fairly quickly. It's felt like it's had a pretty good flow.
Yeah, there's ample time on the clocks for both teams.
You can tell both teams are quite experienced and kind of know before even the skip puts the broom down what's going to be happening next. So, and that also helps with the flow.
Yeah. And I'm thinking probably this one's going to need to kind of follow the yellow rock down.
Oh, yeah, that's
a little bit too much.
Yeah. British Columbia was able to steal 1 in the 7th there. And so it's 5-4 for Newfoundland, Labrador, and BC. And Newfoundland, Labrador has hammer playing 8th. And another 3.
2 great shots.
2 great shots. That's quite the comment.
But on those ones, it's really important to make sure you're getting information from them. You're not just throwing them down. Pick a spot on the ice that maybe you need to learn some information, or even as a thrower, maybe you're not quite either getting to the stick or throwing them, you know, as nice as you'd like. So you still want to make sure you're getting information every time you throw a rock.
And that's so true, and the athlete has to be committed to that to make sure I'm getting something out of this.
Absolutely.
For myself and for the team, so that, you know, who knows, that spot, they may need to make that shot in another part of the end that they know exactly what happened.
Oh, absolutely. And a chance even too, sometimes, you know, you fire it through, but maybe it might be a chance to throw that 10.5 weight and see how it moves to the wings or doesn't.
That's so true, to get something out of, because to just go and throw it for the, unless it's the 8th end of the final of the world.
Right.
then it's okay.
Then it's okay.
But well, you're always, because you never know when you come back on that same sheet of ice, you can remember, you know, back in the 7th and 8th end, we were throwing here and it's run pretty straight at that rock speed. And it's always a benefit.
Sorry, Mike.
I just like to get in the way.
So we're down to seconds first rock. So that would be Elaine, right?
Correct.
Elaine is throwing. Trying to come in around that guard. And she has
bit of soft rotation
very,
there.
very, very, very soft throw on that one. Very little rotation. Start to dig in.
15. So that 14-5 is still pretty close for T-line, isn't it?
So if you were put some rotation on that rock,
you get the top one,
Danielle,
that's
you think
fine.
you could have got here?
It'd have been really close. Yeah, really close.
So now they're going to go after the peel game. See how that works for them.
Yeah. And if you don't get the back one, you might get the top one here. So kind of ice it tight. Want to make sure you get something.
That's for sure.
Push it a little out, he said.
Oh, something going to happen, some noise.
Gonna get something.
Don't get one, get the other. And you know, not often when you see that, it's wise to broom that
Broom
side.
tight,
So
yeah.
you got, if you don't get the one, you get the other.
Absolutely. So for New Brunswick, they got to make all 5 of these count here.
To get an extra out of it.
That's correct.
So the pressure's on. More rotation on this one.
Yeah, nice throw here.
That looks like a good adjustment. That looks like a good adjustment.
Really good throw. That's got to feel good to finish the game like that with that throw and
That's
everything, right?
Yeah,
So
make a nice shot, wrap it up.
yeah, take all the positive you can and take those positive into the next game.
Actually, no, it's both teams have been pretty accurate on the brooms, and it's just the weight situation sometimes has been a bit of a challenge. There's another one coming down.
I think he's got. Oh, he's got contact.
And
if we're doing the math,
that wraps it up.
well, we got Coach back here frantically.
Why are we crying?
Coach is about ready to go out there and call it for his team.
He called timeout, Coach. Yeah, that's a very long split. I'm not sure that one's there. While they're here, they might as well enjoy. That's what part of this game's about, is enjoying the experience and the opportunity. So they're out there, let them enjoy it.
Yeah, when they're ready, I guess. Really nice throw, nice line on this. She's gonna be light though, I think.
A little light, yeah.
Yeah. So now is he gonna concede now?
Well,
there we go.
There we go.
And Manitoba ran New Brunswick out of rocks here. So the final score 8-3 for Manitoba.
Good game, thank you.
It was a very interesting game, you know, as we talked about during the game, that four-ender was a critical turning point for this game, and you take that 4 off the board and put a 1 or 2 there. It's been a great game.
It's been a really great game by both teams. Thank you so much, Wayne, for joining us this afternoon.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure. So much enjoyed that, and good luck this evening.
Yes, we're going to have Wayne again for tomorrow, which will be lots of fun.
Oh, we're going to see the highlights now.
There we go. So here's the shot for 4. And it was definitely framed really well. Oh, there's the shot there that to get his 1 in the first end.
Whole
and
game.
Then there we go. And then what a great hit that was.
Just wrong.
Yeah, so thank you so much for everyone listening and joining in the draw. We'll be back this evening with Ontario 2 taking on Alberta 2, and joining me on the mic is 2-time Brier participant Rod Montgomery. So have yourselves a great afternoon.